I slept in today. But it's a Saturday. Hey. This is our new apartment that we've just moved into, so there's still a lot to do. My office is back there. Today I'm going to be doing my studying for network automation to try and get my Cisco DevNet certification maybe like a couple of weeks. For those of you who don't know, I work in IT. I am IT network support. I have a Cisco CCST, Cisco CCNA. I'm trying to level up to become a network engineer and show that journey as well. So I've been at work all week. I work on site. I get up at around 5-6 o'clock, finish at 3:30, and I do get some studying done at work as well. But the main load is really done at home. That's what I'm going to be showing you today. So it's Saturday. We're going to be spending it just doing what I do on a day where I'm studying, and my partner, she's at work today, so we can get some stuff done that's purely focused on leveling up. So this is my office, still moving in sort of thing. This is where I get most of my studying done. I have a nice mirror there to look at me as well. But yeah, this is basically my setup. I just have my Mac, or CCNA certificate obviously. I just have one Mac plugged into a monitor, and I just go with that. I have a lot of extra screens in my day job, and I just prefer to look at one screen now. My home lab, I don't actually have a home lab anymore. I've got a switch, a Cisco switch in there, another wireless router. My home network is, everything's Wi-Fi in that office. I do have down here, this is my service provider modem, and then this is a mini PC that's plugged into my service provider's router. Now, the mini PC, I got that from an old job. They were just giving them away, and I've put onto that emulation software called EVE-NG. It's a little bit like Cisco Packet Tracer, but more advanced, and I have that is my virtual lab. So for the course that I'm on now, which is Cisco DevNet, I have the option of using what I've learned and applying it to my virtual lab. I can show you that. I have Cisco's DevNet Sandbox, which they have basically, they allow you to interact with the devices, routers and switches, and apply the things that you're learning to them on the sandbox. And they're the main two things I'm using really. But yeah, physical lab, I don't really have a physical lab at the minute. Like, I sold all my stuff after CCNA, I just wasn't using it as much. Well, like I said, I kept a switch. I am going to buy a bigger, more powerful home server though, to host loads of virtual machines on. Because it's just so, virtualization is so good for learning. It's just, I wonder if I could do this with a Linux server and do that. Okay, well, just do it on a virtual machine. So yeah, anyway, this is, we're going to now go into my study routine for Saturday and get this done. Ready? Let's go. First thing I'm going to do today is basically just write the key goals that I want to achieve. So this is my workbook for Cisco DevNet. I have something similar to when I was studying CCNA. These, when you make these, they're absolutely invaluable because you write the notes and the information in a way that you're able to process it. So you just learn from reading back on these sort of things. So yeah, this is like CCNA notes. I write my notes up, I look over them when I've got spare time, and that's what I'm going to do for this certification. So what I am doing a little bit differently is just write some clear goals, because I'm not studying as a longer periods of time compared to when I did CCNA. Short periods of time, we're just trying to make it more effective. These are my goals today. So these are my goals. First one today, we're going to review my previous days of notes. So I have done a bit of study in the last couple of days. I want to go back over that, highlight the important parts, and just review what I've actually learned. Second one is to highlight a list of tasks from the last couple of days. So I want to look at what I've learned and then at the end of that actually perform some tasks related to what I've learned. 3 is sort my environment out. So I'm running programs on my PC like Postman, I'm using GitHub, I've got my own files on my desktop. I need to clean all this up, it's a little bit messy. 5 is literally to progress 2 to 3 more lectures or chapters on my studying, and for that I'm using CBT nuggets. So yeah. I'm missing orange. Was 25 minutes reading through my notes from the last couple of days this week. Let me tell you quickly the sort of things that I've been learning the last couple of days. So studying Cisco DevNet exam, and things that I have been looking at. I am going to look at my notes a little bit just to tell you the topics. So it's basically about the capabilities of different types of networking that Cisco can do. And I've been looking at, it's all API heavy, so automation with APIs for different types of network. I've been looking at ACI, which essentially is like a framework for data centers and how they handle something called tenants, and how everything flows through that, but in a more general sort of perspective. I've also been looking at automation with Cisco Catalyst. Now this was formerly known as Cisco DNA Center. Basically I have just all the capabilities of it there, and how to send out requests on the DevNet sandbox to retrieve information about devices that are connected to whatever a device is we're talking to. Other things that I've been looking at is Cisco SD-WAN and the architecture, and how that has sort of centralized controllers in the cloud, how to send a request to a device, like a centralized controller, to get a list of devices that are connected to it, and also sort of tree structure in SD-WAN. Something important here, you've got something called a V-bond controller, I believe, and this is something that authenticates you onto the network. And then you've got your main controller here, which is called vManager. I think it's called V because the company, they bought it off a company that began with V, so everything begins with V. Anyway, going into the weeds a little bit, Cisco Meraki. A lot of people have probably heard about this. Great for small to medium-sized businesses, looking at how the dashboard looks on Cisco Meraki, how to dip in and out of different devices, see what's connected, see the health of those devices. And yeah, basically just looking at how to send out a request and the different capabilities for Cisco Meraki. Network automation, guest Wi-Fi, video analytics, asset tracking, security, IoT, yeah. And what else? Understanding Cisco Security Platform APIs. So Cisco Firewall, formerly known as Firepower, I think. All new to me, all very new. So I'm just learning the capabilities of these things and how they work. So I've done the first one, which was review my notes. Now I'm going to be doing this, which is number 2. So highlight a list of tasks from the last few days and perform them. So my tasks are going to be to send a request to Cisco Catalyst controller and get a list of network devices. I'm going to be doing that through Python. I'm going to be doing the same for a Cisco SD-WAN controller, and I'm going to be doing the same for the dashboard on Cisco Meraki. So it's going to involve Python, Postman for testing the APIs, getting authentication, and yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so I'm on 1 hour and 21. Basically what I've been doing is I'm using some software called Cursor with AI that's got baked into it. It's so powerful, and the scripts now are performed by AI. However, you need to know the fundamentals of the programming language that you're doing for the sort of career jobs I'm going for, which is network engineers. What I'm doing right now is I have, you know how I said we were going to do this, look through our notes and then create some tasks based on the notes? We have just done that. So what I've done is I have been looking at, really I focused on Cisco SD-WAN and Cisco Meraki, looked at documentation for APIs, and here I create a script to interact with, or I should say, send out a GET request to a SD-WAN controller to tell us what devices are connected. And I've been able to do that here. If I bring this up to the top, you'll see, you might not be able to see it in detail, but there's a table here. So there's a Python script at the top. And then I run it, and then it produced this table down here. Look, I'm not an expert in this sort of stuff. I'm doing the DevNet Associate exam, so you know it's kind of at the bottom of the journey. I've got my CCNA. I've been doing IT network support for the best part of a year now. I'm not an expert with this sort of stuff. I'm just trying to learn the fundamentals, move on and build on those sort of stuff. Yeah, so sometimes when I'm speaking like this, it might come across like, oh wow, that guy, he knows this, he knows that, and to some people it won't, because they'll understand what I'm talking about and know that I'm at, the very early stages of it. But for some people who are just thinking about tech and see a video like this, honestly, when you spend time on yourself, studying, learning, understanding, you advance so quickly and start speaking a different language to what you did, before you started. So that's all that's happened to me. I just talking about the things I'm learning. Don't be put off if you don't understand everything when you watch these sorts of videos. Anyway, I'm now going to get some food because we're 1 hour and 21 minutes in, like I said. I reckon I got another hour and a half to go. The thing is as well, it's like you can do your 4 or 5 hour studies, but how much is effectively going in? I found the shorter sessions, and I think 2 1.5 hour sessions is a really effective session to have. So now, after I've had this bit of food, I'm going to go straight into new material. So it's going to be an hour and a half new material, taking notes, doing the practicals. So I use CBT nuggets. I pay for it. It's like $100 a month, and yeah, that's going to be the next hour and a half. Solid new material, and then at the end of each of the sort of chapters that they present you, which are usually about 45 minutes to an hour long, you have an exercise. So I should get through, in an hour and a half, I should get through 2 new chapters. I'm not even sure what the new ones are on. Let's have a look. So, really recommend CBT nuggets as well. Understanding compute and collab APIs, and also automating WebEx tasks. One is 52 minutes long and one is 1.1 hours long. The good thing is though, in this syllabus, there's some things that I know quite well. So at the end of the syllabus, it's all about network components and network fundamentals, subnetting. I know all that anyway from doing my CCNA. And there's also some Linux and Bash training, which I use Linux every day at work, and I'm always in the terminal, doing all the commands, navigating my way through the system. So I'm quite confident with Linux. I don't need to do that session. It says overall, if I look on the courses, if I look on my dashboard, I've got 126 hours of training done on here. Most of that was CCNA. It's saying I have 14 hours of DevNet study left, and like I said, some of that I already know really well. So have this, and let's crack on for another hour and a half. time we were on over 3 hours. So that was like, what, an hour 15 of going over the previous notes and some exercises. Literally, I felt like I've moved an inch studying today. I have literally learned about understanding computer collabs, APIs, and something called WebEx, and a few Python scripts. I've actually just passed as well, just skipped past the Linux stage because I'm happy with Linux, I use it every day. So the next thing I'm learning is containers. Hey, I might do like an hour tomorrow morning on containers. I am now going to actually make a post for LinkedIn because I find that helps me actually give back what I have learned to other people. It makes me a bit confident as well when I talk about what I've learned on like a public forum, a little bit like this. So basically one thing I'm going to show is using something called Postman to get a cookie from a SD-WAN central controller called vManage, and that cookie enables you to have a session where you can start sending requests which are authorized to retrieve data back. And basically one of the requests I'm going to send or show that I've sent is a request to get, I think I showed you earlier, get the devices. Python script, send, gives us a list of devices. It's just something I've learned, so I'm just going to put it on LinkedIn and show the people. And that's about it. I'm now going to take the dog out and I have to go for an hour's run just to clear my mind. But I'll see you on the next video. See you later.